Good afternoon. Back again, everyone. Um, I'm going to start my reading again. I just wanted everybody to kind of learn what I do and how I do it and why I do it. This is Tut. Tut is a beautiful sculptor. He's about 15 inches tall. He's three-dimensional. He's a great inspiration and a great vibration. And part of the reason Tut is here during this reading is I haven't really done much with Tut lately. Jack wanted to be here, but Jack will have another chance later. I wanted to express a little bit of information too about my cards. Someone had sent me a brief message and said they'd never seen a deck like this before. Well, this is my Morgan Greer deck. And as you see, I have a very large pool table that we're doing all of this on because when I go to do my reading, when I'm reading for myself or someone else, I take my cards out, I spread them on the table, I give it plenty of space and plenty of vibration. I love these cards. This is the Morgan Greer deck, and a lot of times these cards are so informative. I mean, it's my favorite deck, it's my personal deck, and I just love these cards. These are my personal cards. I don't normally use them for readings for other people. Unless it's something really important. So let me tell you what I normally do. I put the cards out. I leave them out, sometimes an hour a day whenever I'm ready to draw a card. I usually draw one card first that I place right here at the base. And then I draw 12 cards, one for each day or one for each month of the year. Now, when I did this particular reading, I drew all of these cards first. And I leave them backside up so I don't influence what I'm feeling when I'm picking. So however I turn them over, that's however they are when I read. Now, usually the first card I pick is my subject card. And this happens to be, I feel, represents me. The Queen of Swords is an older woman. You can tell she's a little more matronly looking, and she's dark-haired and dark-eyed. Now, this is quite interesting because I am as well, but the only other female card that appeared in this reading was the Eight of Swords, and she also is a dark-haired, dark-eyed woman dressed in red. And right next to her is the Seven, or the Eight of Cups. So this definitely has something to do with this, but these were the only female cards in the whole reading. So I have to say, this reading really isn't as much about me as other things in my life. Now, when I do a reading, one of the things that I normally do is I look at the cards, I match the cards up, I try to figure out what's the common theme, the common consensus, and how everything goes together. Many times, as you see all these papers on the table, these are pages and pages of notes that I've written so that when I do my reading, I can have a concise answer. I try to read every detail on the card, especially like the color, the feel of the card, what I feel it presents, whether the card presents itself upside down or right side up. And, many times there's so many things in the cards that the only way you can actually do a concise reading is to analyze them first. So, as I turned the cards over, I was greeted by the Queen of Swords. She's a strong woman. She's facing forward. She's ready with her sword. And, she's got some blue skies behind her. She's embraced by roses, so there we have that color of red, which is in the other female cards. So as I started turning over the cards, like I said, this was a really interesting reading for me because there were no pentacles in this reading whatsoever. And we're talking 16 cards out of 78, not one pentacle. So out of curiosity, I drew a few more cards to see how many cards I would have to draw to get a pentacle. That answer was 3. So, since pentacles are the sign of money in tarot, I know this is not about money. This is purely about emotional and physical issues. The emotional issues are often associated with swords or rods, and there's so many swords and so many rods in this reading that it took me hours to make notes. Also, I match up the numbers and the colors for a united theme. So this was my first card, and this represents me. Now, the first month in our reading is January. So I put the Queen next to the Three of Swords. And wow, what an amazing difference. That sword is almost exactly the same sword. So what she's saying to me is something emotional is going on, but she's standing beside it. She's upright. She's facing it. And, you know, the colors even match. And because with the Three of Swords upside down, instead of normally right side up, which it would be, there would be dark clouds on the top. Normally the Three of Swords, when it's presented in its normal upright position, indicates some type of an affair. In this position, I'm reading it as indicating some kind of a emotional heartache, and she's ready to take care of that. She's standing upright. She's doing her thing.